beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Would you be my neighbor? Hey, welcome everybody to another edition of Power to the People. You know, I could talk for 3 hours because Trump is the gift that keeps on giving for radio talk show hosts. Some people, when he got reelected, said, oh, we're not going to be running everything he says. Well,
yeah,
okay. Because every time that man gets behind a microphone, every time, it is something mystical almost. Like, it's like you just want to go, are you serious? But before I get to all of the stuff that's going on with the president, including Canada, we're about to be at war with Canada, not physical war, but I'm going to talk about that, but something is about to happen. I hope they don't get rid of all of our nexus. I enjoy going over to Canada, going through the fast lane. Mm-hmm. Now, we're going to talk about that, but got to start off the show in respect to the families who were lost in the American airline crash and the Black Hawk helicopter crash. Want to just, big hearts out to them and in their suffering. As of today, all military helicopters are now banned until it's figured out from that area. I know that everybody here has heard about it, so I'm not going to really spend a whole lot of time, but I did want to start out by saying that. And basically, the flight recorders from the American Airlines has been found, which is basically the black box where they could see, and they really know what was going on with the American Airlines because they were under the control of the air traffic control. Probably the biggest question is what happened with the helicopter that was supposed to have sight. They deal with more sight because the helicopters fly so low. But something went terribly wrong. Amazon is outside. Amen. Listen, I have Christmas once a week, once every other week. So our hearts are going out to that. We dedicate the show to them who have lost their lives and to their families. Amazon is outside. They just pulled off. I thought that was a wheelchair van because I just saw the bottom and we had a funeral just now. So I thought somebody got a ride in one of the wheelchair vans, but I believe it's one of my packages. I just believe it's one of my packages. Yes. I just ordered some new toys.
I'll stand in agreement with you. Yeah. Touch and agree.
I just ordered a tape measure that's got, I don't know what the laser does, but it helps you. I don't know. I saw it on YouTube. Then I ordered it, and then I took it out yesterday, and I didn't know what to do with it.
I mean, I think it can make sense because then at least if you're measuring in a straight line, or so I get I can.
Oh, and then it has a digital readout though. Oh, stop it! Because I don't know about you, and you're a little nerdy sometimes. I can't. I only know like you measuring something, and it say 3 1/4, 3 1/2, 3 3/4. All those other little lines,
the 3/8 and the 2/8.
Yeah, I don't know those. So when you pull this out where it stops, it gives you the real reading, bro.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because I don't know. I go to the hardware store and I'll be like 13 1/4 plus 2 little dots, 2 lines. Is it just me? That's how I go. I will take my tape measure and go like, if I need them to cut it, I'll say 3 1/4, 2 dash, 2 lines. Okay. 2 lines after the quarter.
Okay.
That's all I know. But now,
got the exact.
I'm coming to the game now. I'm coming to the game.
I got the exact now. All right.
I'm reupholstering the chair right now. I went out and bought me some reupholstering stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, I had a little cheap chair. My little cousins was sitting on it 2 Thanksgivings ago. Okay. Both of their big butts shouldn't have been sitting on it.
Oh, geez.
But they did, and they was laughing about something, and the chair collapsed. Boom. So I have taken that chair apart, and I'm rebuilding. We did get a still picture, but we didn't get the video.
Okay. Right.
So 2 years later, so I went out Joann Fabrics, and I went, and we're gonna talk about the real stuff. And I went to Big Lots, because you know I am a bargain hunter, and
You
Big
are.
Lots is going out of town, out of
of
business, out of town.
Wait, I didn't know
But
that.
they only 20% off as of 2 days ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, come on.
I'll sit and wait for the 40%
And
or
the
60%.
40, when they get to 40, you know you got to get there early
early.
because they be
gotta-
lined up
I was
at the
going to
door.
say I got to beat the Karens over
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Oh, absolutely, because Karen gonna be in there. I did buy some memory foam pillows that was at a good price,
Oh,
but that
okay.
was it. Yeah, yeah. So I did that. I did all. Yep. I'm moving and grooving right now. I haven't cleaned my tool room. You better stop. When I say I cleaned it,
Oh,
I cleaned it.
Oh, you've been cleaning all week.
Oh, I like to clean till you get dirty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So anyway, good afternoon, everybody who's on Facebook. Yes, good gadget to have. Oh, Deacon Johnson has one. I got to learn but this one I forget. It's got a. I'll get to it. I'm going to do a video about it.
I wonder. You said it's got side lasers too.
It's something. It's not just a level laser, and
Okay.
I don't really know what the laser does. I think you can aim it at a spot, and from where you're at, and it'll measure because it does come up with some measurements.
Okay.
So I'm killing the
like
game
those.
with gadgets.
I like
I'm
those.
killing the game with gadgets, sir.
Well, because I know like when you get the beam finders,
Yeah.
it's sometimes like you can get the ones that red beam.
They
the
don't
whole
work
wall.
well for me because you know
Really?
I got that old house.
Oh, yeah.
and you can't. It's
That
got all that
plaster.
plaster and stuff.
Yeah.
So it'll hit everything. So I have to literally put holes. Find out now if I put a hole in the wall, then I got to go get an anchor or something and
yeah.
put it in. So I'm jealous of y'all that's got a drywall with metal or wood
Yeah.
behind
and
it.
you could know every 18 inches.
Not
is
in
the
my
next
house.
beam. Yeah.
Not in my house. I might hit a bat. Did I tell y'all? Was it last week that I had the bat?
Yes.
I did. I talked about it on the air. I don't think I did. So I'm in the kitchen
No,
with my
because I think
daughter.
it was Friday night. Or was it Friday or
Because my
Saturday
daughter,
night?
it was the weekend.
Yeah.
My daughter was here. It was 2 weeks ago, but my daughter was here, and I went in the kitchen to get something, and I looked on the ground. I said, "Ah!" My daughter said, "What? What?" I said, "It's a rat." I couldn't say bat. I was so nervous. I said, "It's a rat." That bat was just a moping around. He wasn't flying, but he was on that floor. So the only thing I can think, he must have been hanging on for
Somewhere.
a while in the back of the refrigerator or something and hit that floor and crawled on out.
Jesus.
So, yep. I ain't looking forward to that. So guess what I did? I went and bought a camera for my attic. A heat sensor camera. Now, you know my house is big and spooky.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I look at it to see if any motion all day. Now, because
geez.
sometimes my sensor light will go off in the attic, which means
Something moves.
something moved.
Oh, Jesus.
But I ain't had no poltergeist so far. But bruh, if I look at that daggone camera and that motion light going on and I see some heat, house for sale. The house is for sale. Do you hear me?
I know.
Will sell that house. Or first I have a revival in it. Maybe bring some.
I was getting ready to say, you know, the Catholics come through with the exorcism.
Bring it, throw some holy water and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, never mind. I was getting ready to be real silly. But what if we had
What?
a spiritual battle? You get the Catholics to do an exorcism. You get the holiness and Pentecost folk to start casting out and see what happens.
And see what happens. See who got the most power.
See who got the most power.
Bruh, if you think I'm sleeping in that house and some heat keep going past that camera,
Oh,
if you think it, if you even thunk it, it ain't gonna happen.
Jesus.
Carolyn Lane, you don't need a tape measure. You could do it on phone. I know that, but the phone is not as accurate.
Yeah, because
it is not.
the phone you got to calibrate first.
Nope,
I don't
nope,
like the
nope.
phone.
I tried that. I got it on my phone, and I was a half an inch off one time.
Yeah.
It had something cut. No, I'm the old school way.
Yeah.
So President Trump is now, and those who are calling, just give me a half hour to get into the topic because I really want to get into the topic, and then I'll open up lines. President Trump is now threatening Canada with tariffs. Now I'm going to get to the whole crash, but let's deal with this because this is breaking news. And listen to the response. Canada is ready, quote, with forceful, immediate Canada don't even talk like that.
The French do not talk about war.
Forceful and immediate response if U.S. imposes tariffs, says Trudeau. Canada will respond immediately with a series of forceful countermeasures if Donald Trump goes ahead with a threat to impose tariffs, Canada's prime minister said. On Thursday, Trump repeated his threat to impose tariffs on imports from Canada and Mexico that would begin at 25% and may or may not rise with time. Trudeau, in remarks to a meeting of an advisory council on U.S.-Canada relations. If the president does choose to implement any tariffs against Canada, we're ready with a response, a purposeful, forceful, but reasonable, immediate response. It's not what we want, but if he moved forward, we will also act, Trudeau said.
Wow.
Now, Canada, I got pulled over one time, speeding through Canada.
That's the nicest.
It was the nicest police officer. He didn't even give me, he was like, do you know why I pulled you over? I said, I wanted to say, why? Because that's what we do.
Right.
Not me. I said, yes. You know you were doing whatever the speed was. I said, yes. He said, slow down because it's dangerous.
Yeah.
I said, yes. And this was years and years ago. Mm-hmm. But you want to pick a fight with the people who say IA and no worries? That's where I got no worries from. No worries. You want to pick a fight with the I really don't get. I get, okay, Mexico, you won't secure your borders, all that kind of stuff. I got that. But Canada, I don't know. Back in the day, people would maybe run drugs from what I was told, Buffalo to Detroit through Canada. You don't do that no more. Mm-mm. You got to have all kinds of ID. You got to have all that to get through. And now you want to pick a fight with Canada. It comes as Kennedy, who is Donald Trump's pick to lead the top U.S. health agency, and Lord have mercy.
Oh.
Speaking of Kennedy, well, let me finish reading this because I told you this man is the gift that keeps on giving. Face attacks in Senate confirmation hearings this week with the Democratic lawmakers accusing him of covering up his anti-vaccine views. Kennedy, who denies being anti-vaccine, visited Samoa in 2019, 4 months before the measles outbreak was declared. Although it was not an official visit, he met with government representatives and anti-vaccine influencers in what health advocates and experts claim was a disinformation campaign that stoked distrust in vaccine. It's too much going on. Did you watch any of the Kennedy hearings?
I did not watch, but I
did.
did hear the chair's response to him because the chair of that committee is actually a licensed medical doctor. So I heard his response, but that was all.
But isn't he a Republican?
Yes, he is a Republican.
And he responded negatively?
Yes. His response was more like, I'm struggling with any vote on you in this matter because of the oath I took as a medical doctor.
Oh, shucks.
Let me see. CNN had it up on Instagram.
Oh, CNN was going. CNN. My computer is really, really slow. CNN is going to replay. Let me see if I can get this one. Because go ahead. You got it. Go ahead.
Before I was ever thinking about running for office, I practiced medicine for 30 years. I worked in public hospitals in California, Louisiana, specializing in liver disease, caring for those who otherwise would not have had a specialist. If you will, dedicating my life to saving lives. That is, being a doctor. That ethic guides me now. Now, my responsibility is to learn, try and determine if you can be trusted to support the best public health. A worthy movement called MAHA to improve the health of Americans, or to undermine it, always asking for more evidence and never accepting the evidence that is there. And that is why I've been struggling with your nomination.
Oh.
There are issues ultra-processed food, obesity, we're simpatico. We're completely aligned. And as someone who has discussed immunizations with thousands of people, I understand that mothers want reassurance that the vaccine their child is receiving
so
is
that looks like probably a no
safe,
vote.
And effective.
That's what he
We
said. I'm
agree
struggling.
on that point, the two
I
of
think
us. But we've approached it
he's being pushed to a yes, but he said, I'm struggling
that I've
make this
approached
vote
it using
for
the
you.
preponderance
When
of
I
evidence
say-
to reassure.
When I say we in trouble,
Yeah.
we in real big trouble. We have a guy who hit a bear, picked the bear up, put the bear and him and his friends
Yep.
recently, not 30 years ago,
Not when they were teenagers.
put the bear in his car.
Yep.
Because he had to take a plane, he decided to put the bear in the park and make it look like a bike hit it.
Yep.
We have a guy who does not believe in vaccines
Yeah.
and has said that autism is probably because of vaccines.
Yes. Yep. So the guy, so in that he talks about all of that, and he basically, if I'm to paraphrase how he ended it, is, are you going to be the one that's going to use this position and the information to do what's right, or use the information and the position to continue to discredit basically evidence and health science and studies? Yeah.
We in trouble.
Trouble.
We in real big trouble. If this guy ends up being the head, basically the head over our health,
Yeah. Hospitals, clinics,
hospitals, policy decisions.
immunization.
Listen. We in trouble.
Big trouble.
And if we're not paying attention to it, this is when you have to support your federal representatives.
Absolutely.
And not just vote, not only support them, but hold their feet to the fire to fight as hard as they can. Because again, I'm going to bring it, we love to talk about local, and local is fine. But local does not affect us
No.
as much as federal. Because when that man said he was cutting off all grants and benefits, I saw a woman on YouTube literally have a meltdown.
Oh, well, they was melting down everywhere.
Oh, when I say mama melted, she was on, and I understand. She was like, I can't work. I'm disabled. I don't eat the last weeks of the month so my kids can eat.
Right.
And she was serious, and my
Absolutely.
heart really went out. But how do you but thank God somebody sued, and a judge has said you got to put a pause on that. You
Yeah.
can't just stop everything because you wake up in the morning. And listen, here it is me. I'm fine in the middle.
Yep.
I do believe there's probably a lot of waste.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it is our tax dollars.
Yes.
So I agree in looking for the waste.
Yes.
I don't agree in penalizing people because you just want to stop and how long you going to do it?
Yeah, complete shutdown.
Right next door, CAO.
Yep.
I'm sure was sweating for a minute.
Well, not just them. You got college institutions
Yes.
because they included student loans and everything else. So everybody got to stop.
The man just said, stop.
Yeah.
And then it was confusing because you had Kennedy on saying, oh, no, we're not stopping. Well, what are you stopping? What aren't you stopping? You have organizations like CAO that get federal funds,
Yes.
that have to plan out years.
Yep.
It's not like just how we operate today, because if they got the money in the bank to operate, how do we operate? How do we sign our leases?
Yep.
How do we order the food for these programs? It meant so much, but to just like this fight with Canada,
Yeah.
you just say stuff. And it's like you're the emperor and you don't need Congress. You don't need any approvals. You sign an executive order and it's just done.
And that's why I think sometimes, he's, like I said, I've said it multiple times, he's just a figurehead. But I truly believe that he's in a place that they're like, yeah, the real ones in power are just laughing. And then it was like he did that one. It was like, whoa, we didn't say you could do that. Like, because it got pulled too quick. And,
It got pulled quickly.
And then everyone's like, oh, you going a little too far. We didn't say you could do all that. If you want to go out here and make a mockery, by all means have at it. But now when you start affecting, because again, we always, and I know for our show, most of our audience is people of color, but you were talking about rural, poor, white as well. that the freeze of benefits affects them just as bad. So when now you got that influx of people calling their congressional representatives, it's like, wait, whoa, we doing too much now.
Absolutely. This man told Elon Musk, go get the stranded astronauts.
I saw
Because
Biden left them there.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
And so what I did was, I asked our other producer, ChatGPT, what are the 5 largest imports from Canada to the U.S.? Crude oil and petroleum.
That means gas will go up.
Yep. Vehicles and auto parts, machinery and equipment, wood and lumber.
Which we just came out of the highest price lumber
Yep.
that we have seen in probably ever. When you would go buy a 2x4 and it was running $15.
And architectural products, including meat, seafood, grains, and other food products. And don't forget, maple syrup is also a big thing from Canada, too.
So if you charge them,
and that's just the 5 largest.
25%
Yep.
to bring it over the border, Canada to Buffalo, Canada to Detroit, all of America hurts
Yep.
for this fight. Marie Collins says, my grandson has autism. They are brilliant children. They show you how to look at a situation a different way, and they're smarter than people think. They're very smart. But to attribute without any fact that this is caused, and he said other things were caused by by the vaccines, is putting the country, if not the world, in danger. When we went to Ghana, went to Africa, the tour guide, who's obviously African, Ghanaian, said that he didn't know of anybody personally who died from COVID.
Wow.
And there were only a few personal cases he knew of because COVID was not big in Africa. And he said he thinks it would have been even less if they had closed the border sooner.
Wow.
Because people brought it in.
Yeah.
Without a head of the most powerful country in the world, understanding the importance of whatever it is. And I know I got anti-vaxxers out there. I know that, and it's your body. You don't want to take it, fine. I ain't gonna say I take everything.
No.
But at the end of the day, it is your choice. But there are some things that affect world health.
Right.
And had he been in office during COVID,
numbers would have probably tripled.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
When we had morgues that could not hold on and we putting people in trucks.
Yeah. In New York and San Francisco. Yeah.
Ah, goodness gracious. All right. So plane goes down. And the president of the United States says, so I'm watching it. Let me see if I can find a little bit. I'm watching it. Trump, I'm just going to put in one thing, DEI. And this man starts talking about the fact of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, being a possible factor. And let's see. I don't want to put words in this man's mouth. Let me see.
Last week, long before the crash, I signed an executive order restoring our highest standards for air traffic controllers and other important jobs throughout the country. So it was very interesting. About a week ago, almost upon entering office, I signed something last week that was an executive order, very powerful, on restoring the highest standards of air traffic controllers and others, by the way. Then my administration will set the highest possible bar for aviation safety. We have to have our smartest people. It doesn't matter what they look like,
Wow.
how they speak, who they are. It matters intellect, talent, the word talent. You have to be talented, naturally talented geniuses. You can't have regular people doing that job. They won't be able to do it.
Wow.
But we'll restore faith in American air travel. I'll have more to say about that. I do want to point out that various articles that appeared prior to my entering office, and here's one. The FAA's diversity push includes focus on hiring people with severe intellectual and psychiatric disabilities. That is amazing. And then it says FAA says people with severe disabilities are most underrepresented segment of the workforce, and they want them in, and they want them. They can
Never
be air
quoted that
traffic
reference.
controllers. I
Never.
don't think so. This was
They didn't say as air traffic
January 14th,
controllers,
so
first of
that
all.
was, a week before I entered office, they put a big push to put
He twists everything. Well, I ain't gonna say everything because he's an extremist. I'm not gonna be as extreme as he is, but to push. Nobody said that they wanted people with mental illness
Impairments.
as impairments in the control room.
No, not one time.
But is there a room for people that are differently abled within government? There should be.
Yes.
Is there room for us to look for the most talented people? Yes. But because of systematic racism, where often people of color and women were excluded because of the people who were making the decisions.
Absolutely.
This is why things were in place, not to water down. I think it's insulting to even suggest that if you have diversity, equity, and inclusion, that you're not getting the best.
Well,
It's insulting.
and that's what I'm hearing because, and I'm a sports guy, so what it feels like it's taken back to me is the reason why the black quarterback couldn't get a starting position, because it was always like, oh, the quarterback's got to be the smartest person on the field. They have to know the most. And these guys, these are just athletes. They can't figure out the whole offensive playbook and this, that, and the other. And as you watch right now, black quarterbacks are the real reason why the NFL is succeeding.
Absolutely. Somebody, by the way, asked me about the Bills game online. They said, what did you think about the Bills game? Okay, next topic. Now, first of all, I'm a Bills fan by and by. So I'm not the one that gives up on the Bills. They got as far as they did, and God bless them.
God bless.
But go ahead.
But this guy, you think about his cabinet. I don't think that he has too many African Americans in his cabinet.
I haven't seen. Well, let me hold on.
That we know of.
Hold on.
That we know of.
Hold on. Everybody, hold on. Everybody, hold on. Here go the African American.
Meaning my country, tis of thee.
There he go.
Land of liberty of thee. I
If you don't stop it,
land where my
fathers died, land of the Pilgrim's Pride.
From every mountainside.
why he sound like he was doing an oratorical contest?
Yeah, yeah.
Because America
There go, that's
is
who he got.
for
That's
to
who
be
he
with-
got.
Yeah, I'm not talking about him. I'm not talking about the exception.
Oh, okay.
But this guy, he talk about talent, and the people he selected for his cabinet, that's the talent he's talking about. I think he needs to go back to Romper Room and try to figure out some things, because he's the least person that can assess talent, because the individuals that he's recommended for many. I mean, you guys talked about RFK. I mean, this guy is the anti-vaxxer king, and he's going to look at trying to make money. These people don't have the vested interest of the American people. They have their own interests, Trump's interest, but Trump's interest is not the American people's interest, and that's the unfortunate piece.
Absolutely. I mean, you said, wait a minute. You said it's not that his interest is not the American people's interest?
Trump, that's what I believe. Because
Really?
he's lied to us. And unfortunately, it's funny
I
that some of
disagree.
these people are upset that he said he's going to lower grocery prices. Then he got in there and said,
Yeah,
Okay.
I disagree. I agree that he is doing just what people who voted for him want to be done.
Absolutely.
He wanted to end DEI. He wanted to forget about the environment. He says there is no global warming, basically. He's doing everything they wanted him to do. I think later it will affect them in ways that they didn't expect, like this whole thing with Canada.
Yep.
oh,
Now,
that's
I ain't trying to go to Canada and have the customs guy mad at me.
Yeah.
I like going over to Canada.
love it.
Swiss chalet. Bring me a Swiss
There you
and a
go.
chalet. When I come back from the break, 5410866. The phone lines have been ringing for the last couple of weeks, so I am going to open up phone lines. Area code 716-541-0866. 0866 541 0866. When I come back from the break, 541 0866. Station, I'm coming over at you in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
When it comes to something as personal as your clothes, you need to deal with somebody you can trust. That's why so many people turn to Hobson's Dry Cleaning, conveniently located in the heart of the community at 874 East Delavan at the corner of Wyoming.
When you take your clothes to Hobson's, you can trust that they'll be ready on time.
You can trust that your whites will be white.
You can trust that you'll always get a fair price and service with a smile.
You can even trust that you won't have to get out of your car if you don't want to. Hobson's has a drive-through window for your convenience.
Trust is what it's all about at Hobson's Dry Cleaning.
Hobson's Dry Cleaning, your one-stop dry cleaners serving the community for over 30 years at 874 East Delavan at the corner of Wyoming. Call 891-8298. That's 891-8298.
Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home has 3 locations to serve you in Buffalo. 347 Peckham, 2258 Bailey Avenue, and Providence Memorial Chapel at 1275 Sycamore. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes offers traditional services, and they have services for all faiths. And at Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes, they have air-conditioned parlors and chapels. Financing is available, as is limousine service. At those difficult moments in your life, Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes is available where you are with counseling services. Call toll-free 877-885-7734. That's 877-885-7734. Or locally 845-5545. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes. We are here to serve you, here to serve this present age. Call today, toll-free 877-885-7734. Or email info@brianklewisfuneralhome.com.
Yeah, we're back, and I got already got callers 541-0866. Caller, Sister Doyle, you are on the air.
Yes, good afternoon, Bishop Pridgeon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I just want to make a quick announcement. Next week, I will be celebrating my 46th anniversary of my column, Eye on History.
Wow.
And I want to invite the community. There's an article in the Challenger with all the details. It's a 2-day celebration, February the 8th and February the 15th at the Meriwether Library from 1 to 5 p.m. And I just produced a film called The Real History of Haiti, and I'm going to show it. It's free admission. I hope people will come out and help me celebrate 46 years of writing Black history in Western New York.
Thank you,
That's
Queen.
all I wanted to just announce that.
Thank you, Queen. You're always welcome.
Thank you so
All
much.
right.
Bishop.
Bye-bye. You were during the break. You were talking about ICE.
Yeah, so I just saw the post. So I didn't see the actual post. Somebody sent me a screenshot, but apparently it's on Facebook that Jillian Hainsworth, the first poet laureate for the city of Buffalo, her sister's house was ran into by ICE officers, and apparently they did some things, and then in the midst of it, while searching the house, they realized they were at the wrong address.
Now, this is what I was told. This is what I read.
Right.
That ICE, because they were warning people in these towns where they're really heavy, that you don't have to let them in. So they have to come in contact with the person. But because of, depending on where they got the warrant from, if they didn't get it through a judge, then they don't have the authority to break in the house. Allegedly. I mean, everything is changing by the hour. And so now they went to the wrong house, ran into somebody's house, and that's a shame. Lamont Josie, Elder Lamont Josie, Champ, as we know him, is on Facebook. He said, that's right. America's getting exactly what it asked for. America's in trouble, and unfortunately, as the saying goes, may the odds forever be in our favor. Yeah, this is
Yeah, when I saw the thing about Jillian's sister I'm like, what are the guardrails? What's protecting us? Now the Supreme Court, and he's gutted the Department of Justice. I don't think we have a defense to help us now.
But you know what? I think, and call me optimistic, this is the best thing that could have happened to us.
Oh, absolutely.
Because people, and especially young people, who never talk about government, forget politics,
You're right.
government, are now talking about it because their very lives
You're right.
could be affected about the next 4 years. And if we don't recognize that TAP and Pell and all of these other government programs could be
Yep.
on the chopping block.
And then, like you said, what trickles down to the local level, CDBG funds, community block grant
Absolutely.
funds. So all these housing programs, affordable housing, all of this gets affected over the next couple of years.
Well, and as I understand it, the council just had to vote on something that deals with, if possible, the government doesn't get money from the federal government.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you, I had an issue with it because I didn't know what we were signing, what we were agreeing with. And it's like, does this help us? Does it hurt us? I don't know. And I'm still going to be asking the question, what did we do? Because I'm okay with making those decisions based on something that may negatively impact us, but I need to be clear on what it is. And it wasn't clear. So we signed it on a document. It was brought to us, always the sky is falling. Let's get this done. So we're going to still look at and find out what did we agree. Can we undo it?
Well,
Since
from
things
what
have-
I saw on the tape is you were asking the questions.
Yeah.
And you were told that you had to go to the executive session.
Executives.
I'm just going to say this. As
sir.
the 10-year president of the Common Council, you go into executive session when there's something legal. You can go in executive session, a human resource situation, protect privacy. I ain't never heard if I got to make a vote on something, I got to go to executive session to be told. So I'm going to leave it there. I just, when I watched it, I was like, this doesn't make sense.
Said the same thing.
I'm not there, but I'm like, you want to vote on something that's dealing with finances of the city and helping, I think, Bureau.
Yeah.
And you don't say publicly what it is,
No.
there's a problem.
And we didn't. And we
There's
still
a
don't know.
problem.
Big problem.
There's a problem because we were graded before when I was president several times on our transparency, and we always got high marks.
Yes.
Because the only time I took that council in executive session was about lawsuits.
Yep.
Or if it was something so sensitive, then you still got to come out and give a summary of basically what was discussed in that executive session. This is not individual people's money. This is government money that comes out of our pocket. So daggone it, I want to know what it is you got to vote on. So hopefully you'll be able
So I
to
was
find
getting ready
out.
to say, speaking of Bureau, people's money, and in public, so I'm doing this on behalf of the majority leader. Bureau Loan Committee meets next Thursday, and they are discussing Bray Miller's loan. So she is pushing the public.
I want to thank the Lord. So the majority leader
The
is
majority leader, she is pushing the public to make sure they attend Bureau's loan committee.
Oh
which
Lord,
is,
I haven't been in City Hall
which is
in a year.
Which is next Thursday. We had it on our calendar for so long. I'm trying to remember.
Will
I
the
think
public be able to speak?
she doesn't know if the public's going to be able to speak, but she wants to make sure the public knows they have access to the room to be there. And
haven't been there in a
then she's
year.
holding a public meeting. She's actually going to come on the show next Friday and talk about. She's having a public meeting to talk about the best use for the actual building.
Let the church say amen. Let the church say amen. I wish one of y'all could get that. That's government.
Yes.
That's government. You give somebody, I ain't going into Bray Miller because I got other fun stuff. Give them all this money and then say, oh, we're not taking it back. We're not.
Please. I didn't want to give it in the first place, but we did help other businesses. But for us to say arbitrarily, oh, we don't have to pay it back, and they're talking about giving the police department for that facility, oh, we're gonna lease it to them for $1. Why? Because you're not gonna get the $561,000 back.
Let the church say amen. Let the church say amen. God has spoken. So, okay. DeepSeek. Have you heard of DeepSeek? It is the new AI out of China. Bruh. It is turning the market upside down from the other AIs. Because the AIs that have been created, artificial intelligence, basically, y'all know, computer now, forget Google. You can hang, if you still Googling stuff, you behind. If I ask you something, you go, let me Google it. Google even has an AI.
Yes,
Right.
they do.
But I
Gemini.
subscribe, Gemini,
Yeah.
I subscribe to Perplexity and to Chat. And that's the way you search now because it brings up references. Okay. The companies here are saying about the billions of dollars it's taking to create this system that searches computers all over the world. Chinese company just came out. A couple of million. And it's faster. And they don't need all the computers. So they worried about TikTok? It's called DeepSeek. Are you looking it up?
Yeah, Mom.
What? I'm going to go to the news about DeepSeek. I've already been on it. Now, the only thing is, because it's out of China, it won't do certain things. So if you say what happened, somebody put in what happened in Tiananmen Square, it wouldn't recognize it.
Well, see, somebody said it will go up, but it goes right down.
Yes.
It comes up for a moment and then it comes right down.
So it's definitely being watched by the government and monitored.
Oh no! It's I literally just went
What?
on, and it said due to large-scale malicious attacks on DeepSeek services, registration may be busy. Please wait and try. If you're already registered, you can log on. But if you're trying to use it, they're saying because of attacks, it's going to be a little sketchy right now.
Announcing. Okay, let's go to Perplexity. Because that's if you want. I'm telling y'all, if you tell me you Googling something, I'm just gonna laugh. I'm gonna laugh at you because you out of touch. What is it? DeepSeek,
Yes.
and how much did it cost? So that's the big thing is that now these tech companies and people who had stock is worried because now DeepSeek is a cutting-edge AI platform developed by a Chinese startup founded in 2023.
Yep.
It offers advanced models for coding, mathematics, and reasoning. The cost to create DeepSeek is a subject of debate. And now on Perplexity, it says, and misconception. While a widely reported figure of 6 million has circulated, this number is misleading and incomplete. Of course, they want you to think that, right? The 5.6 million cited by DeepSeek's public report only covers the training costs of DeepSeek. Yeah, but their cost is so much less than what these others are saying it's costing them. And it also puts China now back in a position to be able to monitor American thought. Like they've already uncovered some passwords, all kinds of stuff. Folks, when they used to say in Pentecostal church, we ain't saying in the Methodist church about living in the last days. Y'all over at the Pentecostal side, y'all was fighting back death, and it's the last days and the sign of the last day. Methodists, we ain't talking about that. We talk about live. We talked about the vicissitudes of life. That was Dr. Witter's favorite word, the vicissitudes of life. We ain't talking about but you gotta admit, when I was in elementary school, and I went to a Christian elementary school, and so they were already talking about the end, and we didn't have they talked about being able to be ID'd by your fingerprints and by not having to carry currency and about world domination and all these things of revelations and all that. And I might have to take a deep dive into Revelations because I am starting to feel like, computers are definitely taking over.
Oh, absolutely.
And the mind is, we used to say the mind is a terrible thing to waste. The mind is not it's important to the programmers.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
It's important, but for the average Joe, You ain't got to use your mind.
Well, and that's the bad thing. And I know even as you said just a few minutes ago, young people are now caring about government, getting involved in government. And honestly, again, something that I've been thinking, but then I saw it on a post and was like, y'all were too busy trying not to vote, but then you got more involved with TikTok than what's going on now. So Trump became your hero because TikTok is coming back.
Because of TikTok.
But then he's getting ready to strip everything else you got.
Because of TikTok.
So you can stay, like you said, you can waste the mind by keep scrolling on TikTok and dumbing down yourself. But like you said, there's people that are constantly focusing on their computer skills.
Yes.
To just take all your information.
Well, and my man Emmanuel is on Rapper. He says a lot of jobs are gone by being replaced with AI. It is.
It is.
It gets more intelligent.
Yes.
By the second.
The crazy thing, even with ChatGPT, is it literally just gave a note at the last time I logged on. Not this time, but the last time I logged on, it said ChatGPT now has the ability to keep track of all of your questions and your responses to create a personalized profile for you.
Perplexity has been doing that.
Yeah.
As a signed in and paper. And I can on Perplexity do Pro.
Yep.
And it does a deeper search
Yes.
if you're a subscriber. And even if you're not, I think you get so many hits. But if you're a subscriber, it'll do deep research into a subject.
Yes.
And when I was looking at something yesterday, restaurant, China is way advanced. And we can do this, and I say before, and you can cancel me if you want to, but while we're letting our children come in and play video games,
somebody's design.
Other people got their children in after school programs so they learn how to code.
Yeah.
And they know how to survive. Every job is going to be affected, including, and I said this at King Celebration in Syracuse, including church.
Oh, absolutely.
Because now, you can go on Perplexity right now and say, write a sermon on suffering with biblical references, and it's going to write the whole sermon.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So do I, and I can go read it myself.
Yep.
Caller, you on the air.
Yes, hi. I'd like to ask you a question. How did you think about, when they talk about the deportation? I hear stuff on my favorite channel, YouTube, but they was up there saying that we need to make copies of our passports or birth certificates, take it down to a notarized person, and just carry it around with us because they don't know who is who.
Yeah.
We all look the same color.
I think it's very dangerous, and I think that those, especially because now they've been pulling over Native Americans that we're in their country, and because of the color of their skin. They're not pulling over, let's be honest. Let's just be honest. They ain't pulling over Karen who outside doing her daggone lawn. But if you outside and you looking Mexican or you looking, they got their eye on you. So it's not a requirement that you have that kind of documentation. But I do say if you feel like you in a neighborhood with a lot of immigrants, a lot of new Americans, and that ICE is coming around, because some people are getting picked up as collateral damage.
Right.
Just because they were in a place at a certain time. Some people are not going to church. Haitian communities in Florida, for instance, a lot of them are not going to church because they're afraid that ICE is going to come there as they're searching for others. So I don't think it's a bad idea to always have some documentation available somewhere, but I'm not about to walk around. I got a driver's license. If they think because, porque yo habla español, you see, if I speak Spanish, that all of a sudden that then they're going to take my black behind to jail. That's what I think. It's dangerous. Thanks, caller. That's dangerous. You gonna take me.
They better not mess with you.
Because some of these people are off the. Well, I just feel like you got to stand up for something.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, do I believe that there are illegals here who are committing crime? Yes. But we also got Americans here committing crimes.
Right.
Yeah.
So I agree. Send the murderers out. Send them back home.
Much respect to Jim Acosta that stepped down.
He's gone.
you're asking questions, you're asking appropriate questions, and you don't want to answer those questions. But sometimes you got to send a message. You got to stand for what you believe, because some of the nonsense
Absolutely.
we're dealing with.
Emmanuel says that's why America's fallen so far behind. Education in other countries are managing the internet and protecting their children. We give our children to the internet with no remorse, and I agree.
Absolutely.
When I say I agree, I totally agree. And we're still teaching, and this is no disrespect, I'm not on the school board, but we're still teaching reading, writing, as they used to say, and arithmetic. Right? So we're still teaching those basics, but there's a higher level that our children are going to have to achieve. And the reasons that the CAO and all these other, they don't need less money, they need more money. And they need higher programming. Our children, from the time they are able to comprehend, need to be exposed to the world that they're going to be in 17 and 18 years.
Absolutely.
Because we can't keep going getting business degrees and not opening a business.
Absolutely.
We can't keep going getting criminal justice degrees and I have a degree in criminal. I'm not dogging that. What I'm saying is, does that translate into what is going to be needed now? And the real answer is no. So if people were really interested in our children's welfare, some of these games would be games that teach them, and not just show them how to shoot and shoot at each other and all. It's a shame because people who, and I don't use this term woke, but people, we have to be aware,
right?
And because I'm scared for my grandchildren. Honestly, I am petrified for the world that my grandchildren are going to have to survive in.
Yeah, I think it's about us really trying to coach and guide our young people to do things. Like I just talked to this woman, and she said she said, I sent my son to school to get an education, not to work for somebody, but to have his own job. And I said, that's the mindset that some people, we have to start getting our kids in that situation, that you get a job that you can become a lawyer.
Absolutely.
Or you can be a lawyer and you don't have to work for anybody. You're your own, your own.
You have, I always tell people you're going to work for somebody.
Yeah.
Because even as a lawyer, you got to work for somebody. You got to have a client, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you have more control over your destiny.
Right.
Caller, you're on the air. Caller, you're on the air. Yes?
Hello?
You're on the air.
Can you hear me? Yes, sir. I have a question.
Okay.
A statement. Okay, I'm almost 60 years old, and recently New York State got rid of the Regents exam. Isn't in America, they see America across the board as a throwaway nation of throwaway people? Because I understand it's going to come a day that America is going to be closed off from the rest of the economy of this planet. Because, like you said, going after Canada, we're joined at the hip with those people. They're our relatives, too. And this man doesn't concern, and his party that runs along with him.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you, caller. Getting rid of everybody doesn't test well, but I do think that the importance of education, the importance of testing, the importance of being able to see the results of our investment in the school system is very important. You got to have a some type of standard.
Right.
And I do think that other nations that are advancing in technology, that sooner or later, because I don't believe the next war is going to be the war like that's being fought with Ukraine and Russia or with any of these other wars. I think it's going to be on these computers. I think it's going to be shutting down.
It's going to be a cyber war.
Yes.
It's going to be a cyber war.
It's going to be shut. I mean, think about the attacks that have closed down hospitals, that have closed down 911 systems. If we are not ahead, and where the president's talking about, we want the brightest, we want the most talented, I don't care how they look, I don't care how they, well, we got to prepare them.
Yes.
But the kids who are being prepared are some of the kids whose daddies were sitting on that stage.
Yeah.
I think that he's destabilizing America, and he's taking away stripping away all of our infrastructures, all of the foundations. I mean, when I hear about these attorneys and things in the Department of Justice that he's furloughing, he's getting rid of them.
Yes.
You're destabilizing our democracy.
Absolutely.
Bit by bit.
Hobson's the Dr. Dry Cleaning, 874 East Delavan. That's Hobson's the Dr. Dry Cleaning. Go over there, take that stuff. Don't leave it sitting around, and then go get it. Take it and go get it. You hear me? Take it and go get it. Or I'm going to be wearing your new coat. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes, 3 locations to serve you, 347 Peckham, 2528 Bailey, and 1275 Sycamore in your hour of need. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home. Listen, we're getting ready to sign off. I'm open for sponsors. If you want to help pay for this hour, we'll talk about your food. As long as you're not a funeral home or a dry cleaner, we got a little room for you right here at Power to the People. Listen, it's been great. Always remember this. You are not helpless and you are not voiceless. And all of these things that are going on, you have elected representatives. Sometimes instead of concentrating so much on a pothole, which a pothole is important, let's concentrate on the holes in government that are going to affect our children's lives, their education, and maybe even how you eat. Let's be very aware and don't sleep. Don't worry more about TikTok than you do about the policies of the United States of America. Because sooner or later, they're coming for you. Until next week, power to the people.